Hello, this is David Smith at the Develop Conference in Brighton. I'm fortunate to have with me Simon Nelson, the Controller, Portfolio and Multi-Platform for BBC Vision. Simon, please can you tell us a bit about yourself and BBC Vision?
Sure. So BBC Vision is the BBC's television and multimedia arm. And my job in it is basically I'm in charge of everything that isn't to do with traditional TV. So internet, mobile, interactive TV, IPTV, games, I handle that kind of area.
Very good. Tell us about a bit more about your role at the BBC and how you came to be working there in the first instance.
So I've now been at the BBC for nearly 14 years. And I joined actually in the strategy area. My original job when I left university was I ran a wholesaler of wigs and toupees for 3 years. But I did an MBA at the same time. That was in the last recession actually, so I sort of had a small business, trained myself. Then I did a year in newspapers and then got really my dream job, a chance to go into BBC Radio initially. And I became head of strategy for that, and then when the internet started to become a phenomenon we couldn't ignore, I was given a chance to set up and run our sort of new media operation. And I did that for about 8 years and then moved over to do the same job for TV about 3 years ago.
And what is the involvement of BBC Vision in the computer games arena?
So in games, we've been using games, particularly in our children's output, our learning outputs, over many years. But we've also been keen to explore how we can develop our skills in storytelling and narrative by using more interactive, playful technologies. So we decided to really pool a number of our resources and try and do something sort of more bigger and more ambitious than we'd ever managed before. And we decided, because we were so committed to it, we might as well put our biggest, most successful brand against it and see what we could do with Doctor Who as a game.
Fantastic. And you know, the BBC is a big organisation. Why, in your view, is it a great place to work?
The BBC is one of the one of the most wonderful places to work. I mean, I love the organisation. I care about it. I feel very passionate about its continued existence, and I think that working there, you have unparalleled creative freedom. Really, I don't have to, almost uniquely in the media space, I don't have to worry about generating revenue, about profits. My role is to innovate, to delight audiences, to go back to the original mantra of the BBC, to inform, educate and entertain, and in my case using digital technologies to develop what the BBC's always done. The range and diversity of what we cover, from music to natural history to children's output to sport to news, it's an organisation like no other in the world, and it's a wonderful, wonderful place to work.
Fantastic. And I know historically the BBC has been based in London, and I think it's moving up to Salford, to Media City there. Can you tell me a bit about the locations where the BBC is based?
Sure. Well as London, we have a number of other regional bases and bases in the nations of the UK, so Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. We also, for example, have a big production base in Bristol, in Birmingham, and local radio services and offices dotted all around the UK. But the Salford move is a very major development for the BBC to basically take a significant chunk of our output and base it in the north of England, in Media City, the heart of a new development in Salford. And moving up there is our sports area, Radio 5 Live, our learning operation, and our children's operation. So it's a very big development, and there are going to be a lot of opportunities, I would have thought, in the northwest for young talent to get new exciting jobs there.
Fantastic. And finally, what advice would you give to a job seeker looking to apply for a job with the BBC?
Well, the BBC's like every other media organisation on sort of riding a wave of unbelievable technological transformation, social change, changes in audience expectation, and we really need people who understand new media innately, but also who have the sort of respect and understanding for the traditional values of the BBC, traditional media, and who are able to work with radio people, TV people, in order to help break new ground, develop new kind of services that really exploit what new media have to offer.
Simon Nelson, Controller, Portfolio and Multi-Platform for BBC Vision, thank you very much.
Thank you.